Arda Batu is the Secretary General for the Turkish Enterprise and Business Confederation. He joins me now from Istanbul. Great to have you on the show. So look, your organization represents businesses and you're non-partisan, you're a database think tank. So you're getting a lot of messaging in terms of what businesses are thinking, feeling, and what they want right now. So what do they want, regardless of the outcome of Sunday's election?
I think it's quite straightforward what the business wants, not only in Turkey, but I think what I'm about to say is global expectation of businesses, whether it be small, medium-sized, or big corporations. Businesses want a suitable environment, an accommodating environment for business, which means peace, stability, easily forecast economy. When you go into more structural issues, we want checks and balances. Again, a sound, independent regulatory bodies, a meritocratic, let's say, way of doing business. We want the right people in the right places. I was just listening actually to the earlier interview that you were conducting on the Twitter leadership. It really doesn't matter if we're talking about private sector or public sector. It's a meritocratic approach, and it's the right leadership who can really push forward agendas and push forward reforms that will help economies prosper. Again, adding to that, a very sound economic, education policy. I think, again, not only pertaining to the Turkish situation, but again, a global phenomenon. We're talking about the future of work, again, alluding to your earlier interview. We're talking about the brave new world with social media, a new level of communication with blue ticks on and off. And we need the right people with
That's a long list, Arda.
Yeah.
That's a long list, and I mean, look, a lot of that list, no, and a lot of what you're saying is not currently seen in Turkey, right? You've got interventionist policies, you have very questionable monetary policy that has, created the inflationary environment right now in under Erdogan's leadership. How would you say the structural reform needs to happen? Are you seeing the messaging that is positioned in the right way ahead of these elections?
I mean, I think we need to see Turkey and understand Turkey as an emerging market. I mean, obviously putting aside the policies and the central bank and the presidential policies that have been pushing forward, we do have to be fair in understanding that Turkey has been an emerging market that has, moved forward with the COVID crisis. We have been struggling with the Syrian crisis with more than 3 million refugees in the country. And now with the earthquake that CNN International had a very wide coverage of, and I'm sure you know about the data. But as an emerging market, we have the typical problem of high need of foreign finance, which has not been available, especially now to our north with the Russia-Ukrainian crisis, a high rate of domestic savings gap. Again, it's a big problem for the Turkish economy. So international and domestic factors have really come together to create this current situation, as you said, with the inflation as well as currency shock.
Arda, I think, Turkey has experienced an unspeakable trauma. The world wept with you after the earthquake, during the earthquake. It's going to be costly. There needs to be rebuilding. Private sector needs to be involved. What does the data tell us?
I mean, I have to say we have been very involved with the natural disasters. We have been working very closely with the United Nations Development Program and OCHA since 2018. We have been trying to be active as a private sector representative institution and pushing the agenda of preparedness for the private sector, as well as collaboration between private sector and public sector in the face of natural disasters, which is unfortunately a sad reality for Turkey. We are a natural disaster-prone country. Now, just some maybe striking data that CNN International has also covered widely, as I said earlier. It's the earthquake has hit 11 cities, Alina, 11 cities. Just drawing on the economic data, 20% of the industrialized zone is concentrated in the earthquake zone. 20%. I mean, it's quite catastrophic for the earthquake. We're talking about more than 3 million people displaced. We're talking about 1 million residences that need to be built for simply the shelter issue. And as I think your international audience knows very well, especially the ones that are in natural disaster areas, unless you have the shelters in place, really it's futile to talk about economic recovery and the rest.
Yeah.
And to my knowledge, this data needs to be checked, but I think the capacity of Turkey in building residences is about 500,000 annually. So 1 million in needs, 500,000 annual capacity, you do the math.
Yeah, Arda Batu, thank you so much. I wish you all the best. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me, Alina. Take care.
The South African